thank you, Genesis, for taking a few minutes with me to talk Centigrade. I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for watching the film.
Yeah, absolutely. We just watched it last night. Actually, it's a tough film, man. Talk to me a little bit about what attracted you to it, because, like I said, it's a really intense film, and your role is particularly intense.
Yeah. As actors, I think we're always trying to find challenges that scare you because it makes you grow. It
Hmm.
makes you explore more of what you're capable of, and if it doesn't scare you, it's not helping you.
Right.
It's basically our mentality. You never want to get comfortable when you're acting. You really want to be scared because that's when good stuff comes out. And this was one of the most frightening experiences that I thought I could do. I had to go on a diet. I had to lose the weight within
Oh,
the film
wow.
because you had to see the visible change in the physical appearance. Um, I was in a freezer. I was in a car, and my lines weren't set. They were written kind of as we went.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
so I really was scared out of my mind because I love my lines. I love to study my lines and overstudy them and know the beats and know this and that. So for me, it was extremely difficult to be able to do that. It was liberating, but it was terrifying. And I felt by the end of it, it was like a marathon, a really, really weird, messed up marathon that I had no idea what I won at the end, but I did something. So that's kind of my feeling. I was like, okay, I did something. I don't know what I did, but we'll see. And so I saw the movie recently in bed, and I was like, oh my God. I mean, of course, the first things that go through my mind is like, I would have done this differently, or I would have said that differently. But at the end of the day, I was really proud. I was proud because of what I was able to accomplish with all the circumstances. It was great. It was fun. I would love to do something like that. And I recommend any actors out there to find things that really challenge you to see where you go. Um, so yeah.
Have you ever done this kind of self-contained, I call them small box thrillers? Have you ever done these kinds of movies before? Anything like this? I've seen many of your films. I don't recall one specifically.
No, never,
Is that
never.
part of the challenge for you, wanting to do something like that you've never experienced?
Totally. I mean, we as actors, we like to take on roles to live a little bit more. So this little life that I wanted to try on was so freaking difficult and so hard. Um, but I can't believe that it was actually based on true events. So
Right.
that's what made it more difficult. I was like, geez, Naomi wasn't able to get out of the car when she felt like it. I would literally get attacked, like claustrophobia in the car, and I would be like, I need to take a
Yeah.
walk. I need to take a walk. I need to take a walk. This is too much. And I would get out of the car and I would walk, and I was able to, but she didn't. And so that really helped. That really, really helped to be able to think of that in the work. Also, the diet. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
I'm really curious about everything that you went through in the production of this. You just mentioned the diet that you had to go on. Now, your character in the film is pregnant. Um, it's something that they kind of keep hidden for the first few minutes. Like, I didn't even think about it until it just kind of comes up in the conversation, and then I was like, oh well, that's going to make this very more stressful. But
Yeah.
you just talked about the diet that you had to go on. What was that like? Because, like I said, you start off pregnant, but then of course you're in this predicament for a very long time, so your body has to go through a physical change. How did that whole thing work out? How did you do it?
Uh, I did this diet where I only ate greens, and I had a protein shake in the morning with water.
Mm.
Um, and that protein shake in the morning was like the most delicious, tasty thing. It was the sweetest thing I ate. And the greens, it just like your jaw started to hurt after a
Yeah.
while. It was just greens with like salt and lemon, and it was really bad. And to be shooting with the crew, that they're like chowing down on like chili in there and like cheeseburgers, and I'm like looking at them and I'm like, what does it taste like? It immediately puts you into like this primal thing, like, God, I want that, or this, that, the other. It would just work on you. And hanger's real, Travis. I don't know if you know, but like hanger is super real. And I was hangry.
Did you get to? I mean, you have some really fiery scenes with Vincent in the movie as well. So I mean, did you get to channel some of that hanger into your
Oh
performance?
yeah. Oh yeah. The tears would just flow naturally. I mean, you would just look outside of the car and there was ice cream. And we were in an ice cream freezer. So I was
Oh
like,
man.
cookie dough, like I just want to eat. And those things just like was so helpful.
Did,
Um,
did he
for
have to go through the same sort of diet plan? Did you guys do this thing together?
Yes, we did it together. So I mean, at least I had a partner in crime, and they would tell me, Jen, like you can really eat something. You don't have to go that drastic. And I was like, no, I'm going all the way with it. If I half-ass it and I eat some Doritos when I feel like it, it's not going to work. I have to do it right. And then
Yeah.
afterward, I can't wait for that cheeseburger. And that was the first thing I ate after I finished. I had a delicious, the most juicy cheeseburger and a beer.
Talk to me a little bit about how being in such a confined space for so long, doing this kind of role. I imagine it had to be taxing physically and emotionally. But how did you and Vincent kind of get along doing these roles, which often come to conflict in this situation? How did that affect the two of you during the production?
I think we had to have a lot of trust with each other, and we did. We went through this experience together. We were really vulnerable, and there were some times that we were irritable with each other,
Hmm.
and that came out on screen. Like, it was an experience that both he and I were able to do well because we were living it. But at least I had a partner that I was able to be like, wow, that was so hard. Like, I'm exhausted. And he would be like, oh my God, that was so intense. I need to watch, like, I don't know, some hockey. And I was like, I need to fucking watch some reality TV or something to get me out of my head, because it was just like so intense. And it was intense for a month, because it's not like you could take off the character and go home and have a drink and unwind or something, or
Hmm.
go out to dinner. No, you had to maintain that mode until you go back in and lose more weight and look more deteriorated, and it was awful. It was really, really just an awful experience, in the sense of like how taxing it was on our body, but it was awesome because we did it.
Yeah. One last question before I let you go. I really appreciate your time.
Oh, please.
Um,
Thank you.
uh, this seems like the kind of role that kind of sticks with you and probably lingers for a while. Have you been able to? How long did it take you to shape uh, this film after you were all wrapped up?
It took me a while. It took me a long time, really. It was really traumatizing what I put my body through and what I did mentally. Um, I would say for a good year it
Wow.
was with me, because it wasn't just us. I mean, Brendan, the crew, we all suffered this together. We were trying. Brendan had the challenge of making the car, every scene, look different, and it was one set. And with two of the same actors, it's not like you could disguise it with special effects or
Yeah.
different things. It was very, very difficult. But honestly, looking back at it, I would do it all over again in a heartbeat.
That's awesome. Thank you, Genesis. I really appreciate you taking a few minutes with me. I wish you the best of luck with the film and everything you do in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Travis. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.